Mia was a free spirit, an artist who painted her emotions onto every canvas she touched. Adrian was the golden boy of the Montrose family, born into wealth, power, and expectations. They were never supposed to meet, but on a warm California evening, their worlds collided in an underground art gallery tucked away in the heart of Los Angeles. She caught his eye across the room, completely unaware of the way she captivated him. He was drawn to her fire, her defiance, the way she moved as if the world couldn't touch her. And when they spoke, it felt inevitable. One moment stretched into hours, and by the time they left the gallery, they both knew something had changed. What began as stolen glances turned into secret meetings. They found solace in the hidden corners of the city, rooftops where the skyline shimmered like a dream, empty beaches where the waves whispered their secrets, neon-lit diners where the world felt small and safe. The deeper they fell, the harder it became to hide. But love, no matter how fierce, cannot exist in a vacuum. Adrian's father, Victor Montrose, was a man who built his empire on control, and Adrian was his heir. The day Victor learned about Mia, he summoned his son to his study, the air thick with unspoken threats. He called Mia a distraction, a liability, someone who would never belong in their world. He ordered Adrian to end it, but Adrian refused. Determined to outrun fate, he and Mia escaped for a weekend on the California coast. They lay in the sand, tracing promises into each other's skin. They swore to fight for their love, no matter the cost. But even as the fire between them burned, the shadows were closing in. The betrayal came from someone Adrian trusted, his best friend, working under his father's orders. Mia was lured into a trap, led to an abandoned warehouse under the pretense of meeting Adrian. But instead, she was met with cold offers of money and veiled threats. They told her to leave, to disappear. When she refused, the threats turned real. At the same time, Adrian was given his own ultimatum. If he didn't leave Mia, her life would be destroyed. Trapped between love and the weight of his father's power, he made the most devastating choice of his life. The next morning, Mia received a letter. No explanation, no confrontation. Just ink on paper, telling her to move on. She held it in shaking hands, then watched as the flames consumed it. Love turned to ashes, and so did her hope. Heartbroken, Mia returned to the place where their love had begun, a rooftop where the city stretched endlessly before them. She stood at the edge, the wind cold against her skin, memories crashing over her like waves. And then, she slipped. Adrian arrived too late. He saw her body below, lifeless, the love they shared reduced to nothing but a memory. Mia was gone, but Adrian had to live with what he had done. At her funeral, he stood apart, drowning in grief, in regret, in the weight of choices he could never undo. He turned away from his father's empire that day, walked away from everything he once knew. Instead, he picked up a paintbrush, dedicating his life to the art Mia had loved so much. Because some love stories don't get a happy ending, some burn too bright, and in the end, all that's left is ashes.